Okay, this is going to be part 2 of the drill press video, and I need to start out by telling you that the first couple of clips are going to be about me and that pin that disengages the back gears on it, and me acting like I don't know what it's about or what that pin is for. It's because those clips were shot before I talked to Adam, and I didn't know what it was, or couldn't remember what it was, to put it more bluntly. I didn't remember what it was because he had told me. But anyways, the clips were shot before I talked to him, and he kind of refreshed my memory of what that pin engages the back gear on those things. So that's what it is. And the second thing that I wanted to mention is along those lines is we shoot clips thinking that maybe I'm going to put it in one video, and it ends up not going in for one reason or another. And you're going to see that in another clip of this thing where I'm going to say it's probably going to end this segment or this part of the drill press video, and it didn't. That clip didn't make it in. So just so that you kind of have forewarned that I start out this video by acting like I don't know what those pins are for. And it's because I hadn't talked to Adam yet, and he hadn't refreshed my memory about what he had told me. So we'll go from there. Okay, one more thing before we start the video. Partway through the video, you're going to see where I start talking about some numbers that I found on parts on the drill press. And this is very important to me because what I am trying to establish is what model this drill press is, a model number off of it. Now, a long time ago, when Adam still owned the drill press, he, on Practical Machinist's website, he posted that he was trying to figure out what the model number was and if anybody could help him. Well, he never got a model number off of it, and after I got the drill press from Adam, I actually went on to that post in Practical Machinist and did the same thing, redid the same thing. And I had some people, one guy, kind of made this nasty comment about my endeavor to find that number, but the number is important because if I want to find parts like handles or the feed mechanism for the right hand side where it's missing, I need to be able to reference a model number off of it. So me being able to find a model number for this drill press is kind of an important thing to me. So just for that reason. So I can go on to websites and try and find parts for it, and when I try to look for the parts, reference a number, a model number that this drill press is, so that they know what model handle I'm looking for, or hand wheel I'm looking for, or feed mechanism that I'm looking for. So that's that about the numbers. It's kind of an obsession of mine to find the model number on this drill press, so that you know. We're back over here at the drill press, and one of the things that I've been working on, as you may have noticed in the other video, that when I fired this thing up, this left-hand side runs very quietly, and what I think the reason is this spindle is turning with the pulley. Now, let me take you over to the other side. And I'm going to start it up, and I'm going to start it up and shut it off because it's making a lot more grinding noise than it did before. But let me do it. So as you'll notice, this spindle isn't turning. Now, let me get you around here and show you. There's a pin in here that's engaged by this lever, and you push this lever back and it pulls that pin back. Well, and let me back off of here and show you over here. On this side, it's engaged. Now, I think Adam told me that those pins are to go in there so that you can lock that hub when you're changing the belt or something, or lock the hub so that it doesn't spin. But anyways, as you can see, the lever mechanism is missing off of this one, but I've loosened this up. That bolt is loose, and I can't get that pin to push back out of there. So that's one of the things that I'm working on right now, trying to get that pin out, and hopefully once that pin is out and that thing is free, that spindle is free to turn with the pulley, it's going to eliminate all of those noises and that gear grinding kind of sounds out of it. But I'll bring you back, let you know how I make out. So here I am. I'm just running that tap through that hole. All I did was grab a 12-point socket that fits over that tap and just use that for that. I'm going to have to clean that hole out, so I'll have to get some picks in there and see if I can clean that. So I went into that hole and just dug that mud out. Looked like maybe a bee had tried to make a nest in there or something. Okay, there we go. Off camera, what I'll do is I'll put that on there and bring it back. Okay, so I've got that handle on. What I'm going to do is take a rawhide mallet now. I pulled the bolt out that retains that pin, and just sprayed some WD-40 in there. I've also sprayed it with penetrating oil. Yeah, it's really not moving. Let me get a wrench and loosen this. I don't think it's tight against there, but let me try it. I'll bring it back. I loosened that thing. It wasn't tight. This pin's got me baffled a little bit. What I did is took that handle off because I wanted to beat that thing back in a little bit. I'm going to pick you up and move you on the tripod. I left the bolt in it though because I didn't want to beat on the back side of it where that bolt is threaded. I didn't want to collapse that hole at all. But I beat it back in, and what I want to do is I'm just going to start this up and see how it runs now. Because when I had beat it back, it actually got noisier. Yeah, see, it quieted down. I'm really baffled. I'm baffled about that pin not coming out. I can move a little bit, but why is it so tight? I don't think it's a tapered pin. I'm pretty sure it's not a tapered pin, but I'm going to continue to work on it. This might be the end of this chapter on the drill press, but when I bring it back the next time, I'll start out with that pin and what my progress, if any, has been on. One of the things that I'm doing is I just raised this the spindle support up. Now, after this, I'm going to raise the leg up, but I didn't film it. What I did is just loosened it. Probably I can get this thing to drop without even the wrench on it. It'll do it by the weight of its own, the head. Let me just get better bite on this thing. Tighten both. Yeah. What I got to do is I'll try and find or build a wrench handle for this, and also for the table support. But what I got to do is clean those. I'll clean those blades up. I'm gonna have to tape them off to make sure that they don't get painted in the painting process. Let me take you over, and probably what I'm going to do is do the table. Okay, I loosened these up. They're not bolts. They're actually, I'll take you in and show it to you, but it's a flat surface head on it with a hole through it so that those handle pins can go onto it. But I loosened both of them up, and we'll try and raise that table up. Basically, there it is. I gotta tell you, this side isn't moving as easily as the other side. It's really stiff. And penetrating oil on it. So hopefully it'll work in there, and I'll be able to get it up and down easier. I'll bring it back though. I'm going to probably have to take this side apart. The table is free, but I can't get the gear to turn it. See, it's locked up. It wants to pivot that. So probably what I'm going to do is take this whole gear assembly off. That thing is like a I want to say sleeve, but it's not like a sleeve. If you can see how that works, there's this boss that sticks out onto that thing, with a channel in this thing, and when you spin it, it just pulls that thing up through that channel, kind of. So let me see if I can get that off and get it freed up, because apparently the lead screw is bound up inside of that. It's not spinning at all. So let me take it off and I'll bring it back. What I had to do is put a bottle jack underneath that table and take some pressure off of it, so that this the bottom of it is kind of pinned and it goes down into a hole in the top of that plate. So I had to pull it up so that it would pull that pin. It's not a pin, that taper on the bottom of the shaft out of the hole. This is that lead screw off of the table on the right hand side, and I finally broke it free. What I did is just took a pipe wrench in and put it up here, but it's tight. I just used PB Blaster on it. As long as the thing is off, probably what I'll do is, oh, is this froze up too? Probably what I'll do is I'll unscrew it, maybe throw it in the blaster and clean it off. Not sure. This part might be froze up too. Well, I shouldn't be putting that wrench on the nuts. Let me, at least I got it loose. Let me, I'll bring you back and let you know what's going on with it. Okay, here's that lead screw that pulls the table up on the right hand side, and I finally got it apart, and it was, I used the wrench on it, got it loose, was able to get this off, but this thing, the gear even turned hard, and it still turns hard. So I'm going to be working on that, cleaning it up. I'm going to take it over to the parts washer, clean it up, do the same thing with this. Part of it was the rod had a little paint on it and rust on it, and I kind of thought this would have been an insert, but apparently they just threaded the cast iron piece, the Acme thread on the cast iron piece. But I'm going to start cleaning this up, take this over to the parts washer and see what I can do with it. I'm not really sure how. I'm assuming that hole in there is probably a cotter pin or some kind of a pin that holds a shaft in there, but let me see what I can do with it, and I'll bring you back and let you know what I do. I've just stuck the lead screw for that table raising lead screw in the lathe, and I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. I've got her on a real slow speed. I just want to kind of file it down smooth and get that tarnish off of there. There's some burrs, get the rust off. What I did is put it in the other direction. This is the other end that goes down into the bed of the table, and I'm going to do the same thing on this end. I just chucked it very lightly onto the threads. I know that you probably shouldn't do that, but this is a gear off of that spindle drive for the table, and for the sake of simplicity, what I want to do is get this cleaned out. I cleaned them up, took them over the wire wheel and buffed them off, but it's still tight and tight. So what I'm going to do is just put that in the lathe. And for the sake of simplicity, these are designed for a 1/4 inch shank air tool, but I'm just going to do it on a drill because I'm not going to, let me bump that speed up a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, there you go. So I took these parts over to the blast cabinet and look at what I found. A T5 on this part. Wonder if I'm going to find any more numbers or anything under coats of paint on this machine. But that's the first identifying mark that I found, except for the plates where I got the serial numbers, but only the serial numbers of the two heads, the drill heads. Okay, so I'm reshooting some footage because it didn't come out the first time, and it's too bad because I painted over something. But on the bottom of this, or on the top of that gear, there is stamped in an XXX dash, or it's XXX ... 53. So what I did is I cleaned these pieces up and just primed them where they're going to be. So let me take you over to the drill press, and I want to show you something that I've done and something that I found. Where that lead screw mounts onto the side of the housing, I put some citrus strip on it and going to strip it because I cleaned that up and kind of primed it, and I don't want to be wire wheeling or stripping paint around that. So just in the area where it bolts on and kind of above it in the hard to get at spots, I threw some citrus strip on it. But the thing that I kind of wanted to show you is on the side of this motor there's a plate. I found this plate, and it's been painted over, but I put some citrus strip on it, and I'm gonna strip it off, and I'm kind of wondering if it's a company that owned this label. Having this drill press come from Pensacola, I'm kind of wondering if this thing didn't belong to the Navy, or was the Navy in their maintenance shop or one of their shops. I doubt if it would have been a drill press on a ship, but when I get that cleaned off, hopefully we'll be able to tell. But I'll bring you back. Okay, so hopefully you can see it. Here's the parts back onto the drill press. Again, I cleaned them up. I put a little oil on them, but As you can see, it works just fine. Now that's going down, and here it is going up. Now it's a little harder to get up, but that's kind of be expected. But anyways, there it is. I found them little holes in there. This one was actually plugged up and I had to take a rod and get it out, but apparently they're just to drop oil into. Put some oil on the lead screw and cleaned up the paint around there so that I don't have to get in there with a wire wheel or anything. That area will be good. One thing, I'm going to pick the tripod up and I'll show it to you. I got that plate cleaned off on the motor and it turned out to be nothing, but let me show it to you. All it is a GE tag, and it's about wiring the motor for different voltages for, I'm assuming the motor is 440, 220, 3-phase, so that's just a tag to wire the motor for, depending on the voltage that you're using. But anyways, that's it for today. I'll bring you back.